Hey, welcome back to the Club Junkie podcast. Hopefully, we're in a great week. It is Thursday, and I am knee deep in a member guest tournament. So, I'm recording this much earlier in the week to get it done for you guys, but hopefully, you're having a good one. And yeah, before we get into all that, just want to let you know this episode is brought to you by Titleist and Team Titleist. We're excited to share with you guys exclusive opportunities from Titleist, but to be a part of them, you have to join Team Titleist. Team Titleist gives you access to opportunities like prototype testing, special events, limited edition gear from Titleist, and so much more. Sign up and join us on Team Titleist at www.titleist.com/Team Titleist. All one word, Team Titleist. So it's more than just a name. It's a community of golfers just like us. Titleist has created this community to connect us to product experts, host events, and provide opportunities like prototype testing. The white box prototype testing that you see out there where people have those golf balls, that's part of Team Titleist. They allow you to go out there and test and be a part of the R&D process for Titleist. If you want to be a part of it, you got to join Team Titleist. So Team Titleist offers special gear drops featuring the TT logo and are only available to members. So again, sign up today, www.titleist.com/Team Titleist. Again, all one word, Team Titleist. So welcome back to the show. Yes, I am right now. If it is you're listening to this on Thursday or Wednesday later morning, yeah, I'm playing in a member guest. Got invited to play. Excited. It's a whole lot of fun. I played in this one here a few years ago. It's at Dearborn Country Club, and I played it a few years ago, and I got invited back. So it's going to be fun. Going to have a good time. I wouldn't say I'm nervous about the game, but I am. I don't know. I mean, coming up with the what's in the bag was, of course, the more difficult thing. We'll talk about what's in the bag going forward for this one right today. But before we get into the what's in the bag, we are going to talk about a club that a lot of people have been excited to see, and I know we've been teased with it a little bit. It is now finally here. It is actually sold out. It got sold out right away, or actually pretty quickly, because I went on the site just to make sure some of my specs, all that stuff were right on the head. And yeah, this thing is sold out, and that is we're going to talk about the brand new TaylorMade Spider ZT. Now, it's interesting for this one here because it's just called the Spider ZT, but it does have like 5K on it, which is interesting because they don't talk about the 5K, at least not in the name. It's just called the Spider ZT. So this is the ZT, which is the zero torque model. So the model that is kind of like a lab putter, where the face is always pointed towards the target. When it's just set on a table, set in your hands. When it's unrestricted, the face is pointed at the target. So it's got a really cool kind of tealish blue or light blue head cover. I know everybody's been a big fan of it. I think it's pretty cool as well. Magnetic, which is always awesome as well. But they did a really nice job. The cover stands out a little bit better looking, I think, than the standard spider cover that came with all the Spider Tour models. So yeah, this thing here, the Spider ZT. And I do have to say, we saw Brian Harmon win with it earlier in the year. We saw it on tour a little bit, so it's been teased. Everybody kind of knew it existed, but now we finally have it, and we've got people with them in their hands. I think they're in shops now. Again, on their website, TaylorMade sold out of them. So evidently a lot of people looking for them, making it a standard model, a counterbalance model, and a long model. So depending on what you want, what you're looking for, they have a few options there for everybody. And I do have to say, strictly out of the box, love the head cover, which was cool. I think the look of the putter is great. I love this kind of light blue on the sole. Think it looks really good. It stands out without being too crazy flashy. But overall, the shape of it, when you look down on it, it looks like a spider. There's spider to it, but it's definitely different than the Spider X or Spider 2 or Spider V. Any of those, it's definitely different there. But I really like the look. I think this is probably one of the better looking zero torque putters that I've held in my hand. I know there's a few out there that I have not messed with, but just in terms of looks, I really like the look of it. It's got a unique kind of spider look, but it's got the silver front and the face, which is 303 stainless steel, and then the back part of it is black, two holes kind of near the center. But that is all 6061 aluminum. So they've got basically taken a lot of weight, moving it all forward. Probably helps with the stability of it. But the overall look of it with the black and the silver, I think looks awesome. I think that TaylorMade did a really good job, and I like that for whatever reason, some of these zero torque putters, it feels like the shaft just blocks so much of the club head. Like, when you look at it, with this one here, it feels like you see a lot more of the club head, and it doesn't seem as restricted for whatever reason. Black steel shaft, which is just a KBS shaft, and then you have a Super Stroke Pistol 1.0 that is actually offset. So there is a little bit of shaft lean in this putter. So the shaft tilts a couple degrees forward, and it's got a grip that is slightly offset to take some of that away, make it feel a little bit more natural in your hands as you set up. But a really good look there. I think it frames the ball well. It just has one small sight line right on the top, but it's got some milled lines around that sight line, and that is like the width of the ball, so it frames the ball well. I would love to see a single line that's painted white that goes from the front all the way to the back. I think it still would look good, even with the shaft in the middle. I like longer sight lines, and I think on this putter it would definitely look solid. So we'll see if anything comes out with these in terms of other sightline options and things like that. I think even the tour ones we've seen only have been this small sightline on the top. And then, yeah, on the face, pure roll, Cerulean insert. So the standard insert there, just painted black, a little bit of white behind the grooves, but painted black. And then on the bottom, you'll also see 3 sole weights on this thing. So you could dial in the weight depending on like the length, the setup. Again, there's a counterbalance model and a long model as well. But this one here, I've been messing with the standard one, and they were nice enough to ask me what length and everything I wanted before sending it. So they sent me a 33 inch putter, which is my my preferred length. Again, I'm a shorter guy. I'm 5'9". I'm not super tall, and I tend to like to be a little bit more over the ball. So I've been playing 33-inch putters for a long time. But the whole thing is, yeah, when you hold this putter, you just rest it on your fingers. This thing here, the face will point towards the target. So even if you rotate it up, it'll always go back to the face pointing at the target. And that's the whole thing with these putters, is these zero torque putters, lie angle balanced, however you want to, toe up, whatever you want to call them, putters, is it's taking one element out of putting, which is have the face pointed at the target. Because when you bring the putter back to impact, if it's not pointed at the target and the face is shut or open like 2 degrees, I think it's 2 degrees at 10 feet, the ball won't touch the hole. So 2 degrees is not a whole lot. So on these putters here, helping you keep the face square is just going to help with accuracy, repeatability, and making it a little easier to get the ball started on the right starting line. Now you still have to read the green, you still have to read the putt, read the break, read the speed. That is still up to you. But again, if you can take one little portion out of the putting, it can definitely help. And yeah, I've been a pretty big fan of zero torque putters. I've got a handful of lab putters, a Bettinardi, Odyssey, a Dan Carrier prototype. I've got a bunch of zero torque putters that I've been messing around with them, and they're all a little bit different. PXG, they all feel a little different. They all feel a little different through the stroke. They're just all slightly different because everybody's kind of got their own little design on how they do it. And TaylorMade's here is definitely done it in a slightly different way in my eyes. They're basically taking all the weight, putting it up forward on the face. The Rail 3 stainless front section kind of has all the weight because the back is all aluminum. So you're going to take all the weight, push it kind of forward, and that thing stays really, the face really stays pointed there. Like some of these putters, you can kind of just like tap the toe or tap the heel, and the putter just wants to flop. This thing here, you tap the toe a little bit and the heel a little bit, and it really wants to stay pointed at the target. So there's a lot of perimeter weighting on this thing between the 2 movable weights, the 3 stainless, and then of course the aluminum back. Everything on this thing is milled, so it's really, really nice. You can see all the milling lines on the aluminum, on the steel. They go together really well. I'm assuming they're bolted together at some point behind the face or something like that. You can't really see anywhere where it comes together. But yeah, these putters here, I've messed with a bunch of them, and to me, they all feel a little bit different. This one here, I think, feels really well. They also kind of looked at the camber on the sole, so that way, it works with the hosel and sets on the ground easily, so you can align it towards the target, because some people do rest the putter on the ground and get kind of lined up. So they kind of work with the camber of the sole to make sure that this thing sits right when it's at address. And I do have to say, I've had a few of these zero torque putters that I think don't sit well on the ground, and they kind of move around and flop and want to move closed or whatever. And this one does not do that. When you set it there, even if it's not 100% perfectly set by the lie angle, it will still sit there and not rock around or move around. So it's kind of nice there that this thing works. Now the insert is Cerulean, but it's Cerulean and aluminum. So this one here, I think it's going to fail just a touch firmer but it's still got those 45-degree grooves on it. Good forward roll, less skipping, less hopping, all that. But yeah, it is a really cool, a really nice looking putter. The other interesting thing is that even in the standard model, the head weight is listed as 370 grams, so pretty heavy. Typically at 33-inch putters nowadays, 350 is standard. You're starting to see stuff shift more towards 360 grams. But 370, typically you start getting to that weight range when you get into some of the counterbalance stuff. You get into like the 380s, the 390s, things like that. So this is a little bit heavier feeling head than other putters. Now, I kind of like it because, again, I play stuff short. I like a little bit of weight there. It just feels good in my hands, and I typically like the feel of that heavier weight through the stroke. And yeah, I was a little shocked to see that 370 was the length on here. 2.5 degrees aloft, 70-degree lie angle is the standard specs for this the Spider ZT. But yeah, overall, I think the fit and finish of it really nice. I think TaylorMade did a nice job. You can see all the milling lines; everything fits together really well. There's no gaps, no weird look, no weird things on there. The sole plate matches up in there really well. I mean, everything about this thing looks really nice, and this is an expensive putter. If you look on, TaylorMade's website, the retail on this one is $450, so it's definitely one of the more expensive spiders out there. But the fit and finish of it is really nice, and it is, it's not plastic; it's aluminum, steel, and then that Cerulean and aluminum insert. So a lot of, a lot of nicer stuff going on there. But it comes to weather together really well, and there's no weird gaps, anything like that I've seen on mine or any of the ones that I've seen photos of. So really good package all put together there. And like I said, the counterbalance one actually comes with a KBS graphite shaft, the GPS graphite shaft, and I believe the long putter does as well. But this one is just a kind of gloss black steel shaft, which is really nice. But so yeah, out of the box, really good. I took this thing out. I've taken it out to the practice green. I've played with it, and so far I'm actually really impressed. So I know I did a few weeks ago my kind of top 10 list of zero torque putters, and this thing's, man, I would say it might be number one on my list at the moment. It took let's put it this way, it took over for the Bettinardi Antidote at the moment, the SB2. I like this thing better. So this and the Dan Carrier prototype, I would say, are my two favorite. And I might have this one over it. This might be kind of my favorite at the moment. And the reason being is, when you swing a zero torque putter, at least when I swing a zero torque putter, there are putters like the PXG Allen that are super neutral, that feel like if you have arc in your stroke, the putter will, kind of almost rotate with you, or you can easily manipulate it. And then there's putters like this, and like the Bettinardi Antidote and the Dan Carrier one that just feel like no matter what you do with your hands, that face is going to be pointed towards the target. And I like that. To me, it almost has like a face balance type mallet feel, like the where, some face balance mallets, you just feel like they're so stable, like you just can't knock them off that path. This kind of feels that same way with it being zero torque. And yeah, like I said, would I love to see a full length sightline on it? Of course, that would be absolutely awesome. But even without it, I feel like lining putts up, hitting putts, I mean, it's just a really consistent, really easy to use putter. Now, in terms of sound and feel, I will say that it does feel and sound a little bit firmer than some of the other spiders I've rolled. With the Cerulean inserts, I don't know if those ones have aluminum backings or anything, or aluminum built into them, but this one definitely has a little bit firmer feel. You get a little bit more kind of audible click to it. It's not really a click, it's more of kind of a lower pitch, because that aluminum, I feel like, gives that lower pitch sound, but it's kind of got a little bit of kind of a clickish sound as it leaves the face, and it's a little bit firmer. So I noticed it on like the first putt. I took the thing out of the box in the office, rolled a few putts on the carpet, and the first putt I hit, I was like, wow, that actually has a little bit firmer feel. You could hear it a little bit. Out on the course, you don't notice it as much when you're not, in an enclosed area, but it is a little bit firmer feeling than some of the others. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's anything, too harsh or too loud or anything like that. But I think if you were to putt, regular Spider Tour versus this next to each other, I think this, you'd notice that it's a little bit firmer feeling and a little bit louder in terms of overall sound. Again, I don't mind it too much. In terms of roll, pure roll insert puts a great roll on the ball. There is zero skidding, zero hopping. The ball just rolls forward, even if you're playing some greens that are a little bit shaggier, things like that. It still gets the ball rolling really, really well. There's no there's never have to worry about any stuff when you play in the dew in early morning. You don't see those hops and skips and all that right, initially as you hit the ball. And then, balls, when you miss it, when you hit it a little on the toe, a little on the heel, the ball still puts a good, this insert still puts a good forward roll on the ball. So Even if you kind of hit it off the toe, it kind of keeps some of the distance control. Now, I will say, if you've never played a pure roll or some of these other, inserts that have these horizontal grooves, they can be a little fast in terms of rolling. I know some people, it takes a few putts to kind of get used to a slight bit of extra speed, or if you're not used to it on a downhill putt or something like that. These pure roll inserts are just a little bit fast. I don't think it's too much to get adjusted to them. I mean, they're played on tour a ton, so distance control isn't an issue. And I don't think once you play 9 holes with it or get on the practice screen for a little bit, you're going to have it dialed in pretty quickly. But I do like that it does keep some of the ball speed a little bit more consistent with that consistent forward roll, that consistent top spin. So feel and sound are good, just a little bit louder than the traditional Spiders to me. Now, in terms of performance, I think it performs really well. As I said, it kind of has that really stable feel to it, and they talk about it with their in their on the website and all that stuff, that it's got that Spider stability into it, built into it, and that combination of stainless front, aluminum back is what they're doing to basically make this a high MOI putter for being zero torque. And typically those two things didn't really go together that well. When you first saw the first like DF series putters from Lab, they were not very stable. Like, you could just kind of tap the toe a little bit and they would flop around. I feel like the newer ones are much better. The DF3 is far superior. Mez 1 Max is definitely better. But this one here, this thing feels stable. When you hit it on, when you miss it, hit it off the toe, hit it off the heel, hit a little thin, so, stuff like that. It doesn't feel like the putter is going to move on you. It just stays there. It doesn't want to flop open or slam shut or anything like that. There's enough stability built into this that when you do miss it, you're not going to see a ball that kind of moves way offline, right or left. It does stay very stable and very square, which is nice. And then again, through the stroke, as you move that putter back and you move it forward, the putter just stays online. Like I said, it has that like face balance, heavy MOI type feel. It's got that feel of those mallet putters that a ton of weight is pushed back into the outside. It just gives me that feeling when I'm kind of moving it. And I like that because it kind of feels, I'm trying to make a pretty straight through stroke. And some of the putters that don't have that feel, to me, I kind of lose it and I don't really know where it is. And then I tend to kind of shut the base and move it to the left, where on these really stable putters like this, I tend to not do that, and I'll tend to be a little bit more consistent with getting it on the straight starting line that I choose. So I really like that feel as you take it back and bring it forward. And then, as I said, with alignment, I wish the sideline was a little longer, but I think alignment is really easy. I kind of think that not only do you get those grooves, those horizontal or those kind of 90-degree grooves that go with the sight line, that frame the ball. I think then you have the transition or the contrast between the silver face, black body, that kind of works as a little bit of like Odyssey's Versa a little bit, where if you see the thing's just a little bit shut or a little bit open, it's easy to tell because those two contrasting colors are easy to tell. Like, hey, this is a few degrees open or a few degrees shut. You can pick that up right away and align it to the path or the spot that you want to hit the ball. So I think alignment on it is very simple, and of course, keeping the face pointing towards the target, it does that really well. I noticed out playing with some of the zero tours, my misses left with it, and that's what I was doing a lot, kind of with the Bettinardi Antidote the last time I played with it. And with this, that's the one thing I just didn't do. I wasn't missing balls left. I was pretty much hitting on target. When I was missing putts with this, it pretty much was a speed thing. I just didn't read the speed. I just either didn't hit it hard enough, or I hit it a little bit too firm through the break. It was just I was more distance control, for reading it. It wasn't distance control of the putter producing. It was me just either hitting it a little too firm are coming up a little bit short. And but the actual spot, picking the spot, getting the ball started on that spot or on that line was super simple to do, and it was really consistent. And I feel like as soon as if I would have had a better day just judging the speed of how hard to hit the ball, I definitely would have made a heck of a lot more putts from playing it. But out on the practice green, I made a lot of putts with it. I thought it was really solid. It's one of the few putters I have with a steel shaft. I don't know if I'll be changing that. This steel shaft from KBS is pretty stout. It's not super flexible and soft. It definitely is a little bit more stout, which I like, and I think it has to be, being a 370 gram head. You probably need something a little bit more stout to keep this thing stable and square at impact. And then, of course, the grip. I like the grip. I'm a big Pistol 1.0 guy. That is like my, if I'm not using like a lambkin deep edge cord, I'm using a Super Stroke Pistol 1.0, and this one here, even though it's offset, like you don't even notice it. It just feels like you have a Pistol 1.0 in your hands, and you just putt with it, and you don't even notice that it's slightly offset. At address, yes, you can see it, but I didn't really notice it when we were playing. It just kind of felt like a traditional grip. I didn't feel like it felt anything different, which is nice. And again, having that little bit of offset in the grip makes it feel more normal at address. Because if it didn't, your hands would have this like added forward press in there, which some people like, but you don't. Not everybody does, and it feels very traditional, very comfortable, and it feels like putting with a Spider, which I think is a good thing for TaylorMade. It makes them, kind of gives this uniformity from this putter to the standard Spiders. And again, maybe a True Path alignment on there. I could be a fan of that even. True Path alignment with a little longer black sight line could be a pretty cool addition. I know that this is kind of its own thing, so it may not ever get that, but it could definitely be a welcome thing from someone like myself. Um, but overall, I think this thing's a really solid putter. Will it go in the bag? Is it like the gamer? At the moment, I wouldn't call it the gamer, but I do have to say that if I was going to put a zero torque putter in the bag, I'm going to put this one in the bag. It's just right now I don't really see a whole lot of negative things to it. In terms of saying like, hey, like what don't you like? It's small little things that would be kind of custom to me. Like with the sight line, but I think overall it performs really, really well, and I've been really impressed with how this thing plays. So. Is it number one on my list? I'm going to say it might be. It might be number one on my list. I like it a lot. We'll have to see, some more playing with it, some more kind of, higher pressure situations in terms of actually playing and, out there, shooting some scores and seeing what it does. But so far, I've been a big fan. I think it works really well. I think TaylorMade did a really nice job. And I like it probably more than most zero torque putters out there on the market. So, yeah, the Spider 5K or the Spider ZT is. Yeah, I'm a fan. I think they did a nice job. I haven't putted with the counterbalance or the long. They didn't send me those. They just sent me the one. And judging by the demand from the website, I can see why. But yeah, I'm a big fan. I think they did a nice job with this thing, and it's definitely going to get some time for me. I mean, heck, if I putt really poorly at this member guest on the first day, this may go in the bag for the rest of the round or at least the next round because I definitely want to play well. So whatever gives me the best chance. But this thing here has been really solid. So if you're looking for a zero torque putter, it's in your interest, and you're kind of looking at a few of the good ones to go try and see what works well for you. The Spider ZT could be definitely one to try. If the looks are something that you like, it may be something definitely worth trying because I think TaylorMade did a really good job, and it's probably a good thing they didn't rush it out or anything like that and took their time. And um, yeah, it's a really solid offering in that zero torque putter market. So I'm a big fan. It's probably moved up to number one on my list, which is scary because I really liked the Dan Carrier prototype. I really like the Bettinardi SB2. I like the Labnez One Max. I like a lot of those, but this one here, I putted really well with it, and I like the stable feel of it. So give TaylorMade some credit. They did a really nice job with this putter. So that is the TaylorMade Spider ZT. If you want to check out more, check out the other models, all that jazz, TaylorMadeGolf.com. You can go check it out. It's right on their site. It looks like they're sold out, but it looks like they will be back later in the summer. So it looks like I think they're saying August. So hopefully they'll get some back soon and get some more on there, or check your local shop. Hopefully they may have some, and people haven't found them there yet. So check those out and see what you got there. But yeah, really solid putter there, and that is the Spider ZT. So for the rest of the show, we're gonna go through a quick what's in the bag and jump into the kind of what I'm picking for the gamer bag for this member guest, because again I can't bring more than 14 clubs on each day, so I got to bring the ones I think are going to score the best or help me score the best, and we'll go through. So we'll start with I'm going to call it kind of the what's in the bag 1.0 version 1.0. We all know this is going to change as the year goes on, and right out of the gate, like the first thing is going to be driver is the hard one. This is the one where I'm actually going to bring two drivers because on Wednesday playing a practice round, and then we jump into the actual event on Thursday. So practice round on Wednesday, I can have a few more clubs, So I'm bringing 2 drivers, and we're going to try to figure out which one gets the green light, which one gets hit better, which one goes in the bag for the rest of the week. And again, I can change it, day to day. So if something does go bad, the other one definitely has a chance of going in. But for the for driver, we're going to start kind of 1A, 1B. Driver 1A is going to be the Ping G440 Max. I know I have kind of not been a big fan of that driver lately, but I kind of figured out something with I was doing swing-wise over the weekend, and was hitting it really well. And I do have to say that, while I was hitting, I brought like 3 drivers out when I played over the weekend. And while it was not the longest, I mean, the TaylorMade QI35, I would hit it well past. The G440 Max, when I didn't hit it well, was very straight. It was very in play, more so than the other 2 drivers. So I think I'm willing to give up a little bit of distance out there to hopefully keep it in the fairway. There's only really 2 holes that length is a priority, 2 par 5s, and one of which I really can't get to in 2. I mean, I'd have to hit the career drive, career 3-wood, and I'd maybe be able to sneak it on the front of the green, but I don't even think I could do it. And then the other one is a tough green to hit. A lot of bunkers on it, and it's got a decent slope, so it's not an easy one to hit from long range out with a 3-wood, 7-wood, something like that. So distance is the main concern. So G440 Max, 10.5 head. It's going to be set neutral, and I found also too what kind of has made me like that G440 Max a little bit more. Going to just like a slightly counterbalance shaft, and I know the Graphite Design Tour AD VF 6X, which is what I'm put in there, is not necessarily counterbalanced per se, but they tend to be a little less tip heavy than maybe something else, and it is a little bit shorter as well. So those 2 things make it play swing weight wise a little bit lighter, and I feel like that has definitely helped as well in terms of swinging it more consistent. So also we've got a kind of higher launching head with a kind of mid-low launch, low spin shaft, and that tends to work out pretty well. So that'll be driver 1A. 1B is going to be my Titleist GT2. That's an 11-degree head, which is pretty high, but I'm putting in the Mitsubishi Diamante WB 63X. So the whiteboard, it's a little bit lower launching shaft, lower spinning shaft. Now I still launch the whiteboard a little higher. It's more of like a mid-low launch for me, but it's still low spin, so it should offer some really good distance. And when I was hitting it over the weekend, I mean, definitely long. I mean, Titleist, the GT series just creates ball speed. Like, they're super fast, but that GT2 is just turning it over is the struggle there. Like, it's a little bit more, it's got a little bit more draw to it than my TSR2. So it's set standard right now. I have lowered it. I've tried lowering it to open the face a little bit and stuff like that. But that kind of stouter 63X and that whiteboard definitely helps, and it helps kind of keep the ball a little bit lower with that 11-degree head. So it's a good combination, and that thing works pretty well. I'm just a little bit more scared of the left in it. So we're going to take both those drivers out, hit them on the range, hit them on the course, see how they go. But one of those 2 is going to go in the bag at least for day 1, and then who knows? We'll maybe have to switch it up depending on what happens as the round goes on. So that's driver. That'll be decided on Wednesday afternoon. 3-wood is pretty simple, I think. It's going to be the Callaway Elite Titanium. The 3-wood, I had that thing. I was messing with the loft a little bit. I had it bumped up to 16 degrees. But off the tee, I was just kind of hitting it too high, and it would kind of get up and just drop out of the sky a little bit. So moved it back down to 15. We're going to play it standard, standard lie angle, so NS as the hosel setting goes there. But that one there, the 15-degree head, it's just, I mean, it's got insane ball speed numbers, like mini driver fast ball speed, but you can still hit it off the deck. The face isn't so shallow where you can't hit it off the tee, and that thing is pretty darn forgiving, pretty easy to elevate off the turf. So I won't have to hit it off the turf, I think, maybe twice, on 2 holes, and that would have to be a real, like, optimal situation. So it'll be more some of the short par 4s and things like that. I'll probably hit it off the tee and those things. So I was thinking about putting a mini driver there, but I don't know if, that distance, at that point, it's only a few yards shorter than driver. Why not just hit driver? So we're going to go with the Elite Titanium, and I want to shaft it up with the brand new KBS PGW shaft, the Player's Graphite W or wood shaft. That thing's been really good. It's got a really solid kind of feel to it. It gets the ball up in the air without being like loose feeling or anything like that. It's still tight, still stable, and very consistent. So I like that that combo a lot. But it's performed really well so far. So that would be 3-wood. Then moving to 7-wood, and 7-wood's the one that's kind of a little bit shocking to me. It's going to be the TaylorMade QI35 Tour model. Yes, the titanium 7-wood. I've hit it really well. I took it out again this weekend, just hit it well. It's great because I can hit it off the tee on short par fours, but the face isn't too deep where I can't hit it off the deck. I've actually got that sliding weight pushed all the way forward to kind of bring the flight down just a touch. And then I've got it set 1 degree strong. So it was a 21-degree head set to 20 with that weight pushed forward, and it just goes. Still gets the ball up in the air, easy to hit. Thing's got a ton of ball speed, and it just it's got enough distance gap between the hybrid and the 3-wood. It sits in between there really well, and I think it's a really solid 7-wood. I've hit it well off the deck, hit it well off the tee. That thing is shafted up with a Fujikura Ventus TR Blue 8 stiff, which is the same shaft I played in my Ping G430 last year. Fujikura sent me another one when I asked, and we put one in, and it's been really, really good there. So that one there is kind of a little bit surprising, but I really like the way that thing has performed. So I've been really, really happy with it. So 21 degrees set to 20, and that thing is kind of like 215-ish off the tee. Maybe a little bit more if you hit it real perfect, but it's like that, 210-ish just under off the deck, and it's been really, really solid. So I like that one a lot, and that one will probably get a decent amount of use off the tee compared to off the deck, throughout this week. Then we move to hybrid, and hybrid's a new one too. I thought, honestly, up until like 2 weeks ago, I thought my PXG Black Ops 4 hybrid was going to be back in the bag. And honestly, I think I'm going with the Titleist GT2. So I'm putting in the GT2 hybrid there. I like that thing a lot. It's super easy to hit off the deck. It's crazy stable with those toe and heel weights. I've got the heavy toe out in the toe, the heavy weight in the toe, lightweight in the heel, and I've got it set just flat. I've been messing with the loft a little bit there as well. So I kind of went down to it's actually a 5 hybrid head. I had it down at 23 degrees, and I moved it back to 24, and it seems to be distance-wise really, really good off the tee. It's basically my 200 club. It's like 195 to 200 off the deck, and a little bit more like 205 off the tee. And it's just super easy to launch in the air. It goes really straight, and set in that flat position and that heavy weight out in the toe, it takes a lot of that left away. Like it's not easy to turn over, and it's just super easy to hit. And again, same thing, having some face height to it. You can hit it off the tee, hit it off the ground. It does it all really well. So that one's set to B1. And then the shaft now is honestly just the stock Mitsubishi Tensei 1K Blue. It's actually a 65 stiff, which 65 is pretty light, but I've been hitting it really well. So I'm not going to take it apart. I was going to pull it apart, put something else in there, but honestly, I've been hitting it really well. So I'm not going to take it apart. It's going to stay the way it is for now until it betrays me. But I've liked that thing a lot, and I think it's a little bit more forgiving than the PXG out there when it's all said and done. And then for irons, I don't think it's any shock. Cobra 3DP Tours, those are in the bag. I've just, I've hit those. I played them over the weekend. I kind of took a gamer bag out in the weekend with a few extra pieces. And yeah, I mean, they're just so solid. They, miss hits, all that tungsten weight, the toe and the heel, man, they just go straight. They don't have a ton of curve to them, which I'm not trying to work the ball, so that's fine. But they get up in the air. They launch in the air well. They're not crazy long in terms of like ball speed. They're not super hot, but they definitely go the distances that I expect them to go, even when it's cool out and stuff like that. And they just they're forgiving. They're stable. They don't get offline a whole lot. And for as small as they are, kind of looking like a blade, they just are super easy to hit. So they feel good. They sound good. I mean, they just perform really well. And those are shafted up with some True Temper Dynamic Gold Mid 115 S300s. And again, that's a shaft I've really liked. I got that shaft originally in my P770s. Got them in this set, and they've just been really good. They get the ball up in the air, but they still feel tight. Overall, just been really impressed with those shafts. So I'm playing those 5 through pitching wedge. Then we get into wedges, and wedges we're going to go with the PXG for the first one, PXG Sugar Daddy 3 gap wedge, so the 50-10 S grind. I've liked this wedge a lot. They're actually the ones I played last year. I played the 50 and 56 last year. I'm playing the 50 and 56 this year. So Sugar Daddy 3s, 50-10S, 56-10S. And these things feel awesome. They're super soft. They're forged, fully milled, and the sole design on that S grind's got that little bit of trailing edge relief. The front edge, I wouldn't call it pre-worn, but it's got a little like roundness to it, a little camber to it, and it doesn't dig. It doesn't get caught up when you get it into the turf or even on tight lies. but it doesn't also want to dig or anything like that. So the turf interaction is really good. And then the grooves, for whatever they did with these offset grooves that they do in there, they spin phenomenally out of the rough. So hitting them out of the rough, they seem to hold and be a little bit more predictable compared to some other wedges. So I like those things out of the rough. Off tight lies, fairway lies, they check up really hard. But just been a big fan. I hit those. I like the turf interaction, especially chipping and pitching around the green. You can kind of throw them into the turf. They just kind of glide and hit the ball. So it's they're really good wedges. I know they're kind of stupid expensive, but they perform really, really well. They feel really good. They sound really good, and I like the look. I think they look pretty decent. So those ones, both the 50 10s, 56 10s, will go in the bag. Those are both shafted up with Project X Wedge 6.0 shafts. I kind of like that shaft a lot. I kind of put them in just as like I'm going to review them, and then after hitting them, I've been a big fan. I think they've got a little feel to them. They're a little bit softer, still 120 grams. They match up well with the iron shafts, and they're great for those kind of less than full shots around the green. And then the 60 degree is going to be the Titleist Vokey WedgeWorks 60A Plus grind. This is a wedge. When I first got that, I put it in the bag. I loved it. It got replaced by the V grind, and then recently I took it back out just because I took it out for like a what's in the bag, and I just really like how it plays. That slightly wider sole is good out of the trap. M grind is basically what it is with the grind line removed out of it, and it just gets through the turf really smoothly. Again, you can kind of thump it into the turf on a tight lie, no problem. And out of the rough, it plays pretty well also. It can glide under the ball a little bit. You may catch it a touch high in the face if you're not real careful with the ball sitting up on the rough. But that's a minor complaint. But everything else about it, I like the way it plays. It glides through the turf really quickly, and it just performs really well. And I don't play it super wide open. Like if you played it crazy wide open, that leading edge is going to come off the ground a little bit. But I don't really have to hit that shot, or I don't try to hit that shot very often. So not something I really have to worry about. But that one has been a really good one lately. So I'm going to keep riding it through this. And then that is also shafted up with the Project X Wedge Shaft 6.0. Again, just good feel for those kind of shorter, touchier shots. And then finally, putter. Putter is going to be the Kevin Burns 9306 2.0. I was going to play the Bettinardi Queen Bee 16, and I'm not putted well with it the past two times I've taken it out. So we're going with the Kevin Burns. That's been kind of the solid one. I love the feel off the face. That pyramid groove is just, our pyramid face feels so soft. It puts a good roll on the ball. Overall, the milling, everything about the head shape I really like, a little bit more boxy. But I put that steel shaft with the original Kevin Burns grip on it, the Iomic, and I just like it. It's just putting really well. I think moving it to that graphite shaft, the weight just changed it up a little bit. I didn't like it. And then this putting it back to the original way is definitely been really good. So the green should be fast, they should be firm, and this should do pretty well out there on those. And then the backup, of course, will be the Spider ZT in case things go bad with the putter. So in the ball, I'm going to play the Titleist Pro V1X. It's the ball I always play. I like the higher flight, a little bit more spin. That's what I need, especially for iron shots. So that is going to be the ball I play. So that is what's in the bag for the member guests. Hopefully we can play well. Maybe win a little trophy again. We won our flight when I played a few years ago. Hopefully we can do that again this year. But that is my what's in the bag. So that's all I've got today. That's it. Hopefully you guys have a good one. I know this show went a little longer, but hopefully you guys have a good one. Have a good weekend. Play some golf. And if you want to follow on Instagram, at Club Junkie Pod, wherever you listen to the podcast, like, subscribe, do whatever. That would be awesome. And if you want to watch this on YouTube, you can. Just look up Golf Direct Radio or Club Junkie, and you should be able to find it. So that's all I've got. Hope you guys have a good one. We'll talk to you next week.